14-15 साल आप इंडस्ट्री में रहते हैं ना, उसके बाद आपकी काफ़ी उम्मीदें जो हैं वो रियलिटी में बदलने। व्हेन यू फर्स्ट एंटर दिस इंडस्ट्री यू it's good to be unrealistic. It is good to be, don't think practically. This is practical. This is realistic, mate. You have to you have to break that glass ceiling, and you have to get your imagination and your dreams so big. बहुत पहले तो 2-3 हफ्ते तो मैं, I mean now it's been almost a month now. So the first 2-3 weeks, when I'm alone, I would just start crying because it's you don't understand the feeling when you don't have anything, and then all of a sudden this comes to you. Maybe mothers will be able to know how a mother feels.
Yeah.
जब उनके बच्चे कुछ अचीव कर लेते हैं आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग स्ट्रगल, जब पूरी इंडस्ट्री ने आपको मतलब राइट ऑफ कर लिया है, जब कोई आपको ऑडिशंस नहीं दे रहे हैं, जब लोग बोल रहे हैं कि दिस गाय इज डन एंड डस्टेड, लेट हिम गो जॉइन, कोई छोटा सा रोल कर लो. मैं तो बिग बॉस ज्वाइन करने वाला था. आई वाज गोना बिग बॉस. आई वाज गोना बिग बॉस लिटरली just before I signed Hira Mandi, which was October, I think, last year.
हाँ.
उससे पहले I was going to sign the contract for Big Boss. My mom and my friend Tushar, he's with me for the last 12-13 years, so he was always against it. He said, वो एक अलग trajectory
Yes.
में आप चले जाओगे.
Of course.
And then you won't be able to erase that.
Yes. Of course.
So he fought, his mother fought with me. Then he spoke to my mom, and my mom also fought with me. She said, no, nothing doing. Don't do anything, but you don't go this way. Wait. खाना तो था, ठीक है, खाना था. So, we have a house, we have food. और क्या चाहिए? बाकी हाथ पैर सलामत हैं.
Correct.
जब तक सांसें चलती हैं, तब तक आप, आप हर दिन एक नई कोशिश कर सकते हैं. Every sunrise is a new start. Many a times I've heard and I've always listened to motivational videos that when you're just about to fall, right, but God is always testing you. God is testing your limits, and when you're about to fall, God is like, "Chal, theek hai."
Hi guys, this is Pallavi Mukherjee and you are watching me on Woh-Men-Yahan on Diaries. And today we have with us, from Taj to Tajdar, from Hira Mandi ka Bazaar to our Dil ka Dwar. He is not just ruling on Netflix, but also our hearts. He's an internet sensation, national crush of India, rightly so for all the right reasons because he's good looking, he's charming, but above everything, he's a powerhouse of talent. And today we have with us the one and only TAHA SHAH.
Thank you for having me, Pop Diaries. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much, Pallavi.
Thank you, Taha, for being here. I just have to say that your role in Hira Mandi is like winning on the internet, primarily because there are so many edits. Have you seen those? Like, it's insane, the number of edits that's going around.
I get sent some of these edits. My mom keeps sending me. My team keeps sending me. It is really just unbelievable what's happening, to be very honest. और मैंने कभी सोचा भी नहीं था कि ऐसा होगा या हो भी सकता है. मेरी उम्मीद यही थी कि ये फिल्म, ये सीरीज़ से मैं एक अच्छा एक्टर बन के निकलूँ. लोग कहें कि ये एक्टर बहुत अच्छा है. पहले इसने ताज किया, अभी ये ताज है ना हीरा मंडी में. सो मैं मतलब जब आप 14-15 साल आप इंडस्ट्री में रहते हैं ना, उसके बाद आपकी काफ़ी उम्मीदें जो हैं वो रियलिटी में बदलने लगती हैं. When you first enter this industry, it's good to be unrealistic. It is good to be, don't think practically. This is practical. This is realistic, mate. You have to break that glass ceiling, and you have to get your imagination and your dreams so big. When you think of the moon, then you might go and touch the sky or the clouds, But I guess over time, then you start looking at reality. कि अभी मैं यहाँ पर पहुँचा हूँ, ठीक है, तो फिर मुझे ये करना होगा, मुझे ये नहीं करना है. I don't want to take any risks. जितना चल रहा है चलने दो. So this has really come in as a tsunami and a flood of love, which I don't understand, but I'm so grateful and I really सचमुच दिल से मैं वैल्यू करता हूँ. मैं हर वो इंसान जो मुझे यानी जो वक्त निकालता है, जो इंस्टाग्राम पे वो लोग स्टोरीज डालते हैं, एडिट्स बनाते हैं, उसके लिए भी वक्त लगता है. Whoever approaches me from front, like whether it be in Mumbai, whether it be now in जब मैं कैंस में था, मैं सच बोल रहा हूँ कि बहुत पहले तो 2-3 हफ्ते तो मैं, I mean now it's been almost a month now, so the first 2-3 weeks मैं when I'm alone, I would just start crying.
Oh.
Right, because it's you don't understand the feeling when you don't have anything, and then all of a sudden this comes to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's really it's really overwhelming, and you really thank the God, thank the stars, ki thank you that I never gave up. Thank you that you know that you didn't let me give up.
Yeah.
That my mom always supported me. You know, and she never once said कि तू नहीं कर पाएगा, you're not going to do it, let's go back, you know, come back to Dubai, business कर लो, कुछ और कर लो, industry में or join the TV, but you have to earn money, so you know, never.
Yeah.
She always said कि where do you want to reach, and she knew that I wanted to be, you know, one of the best actors in the world, and she never ever once, you know, denied my dream, and it's my brother denied it, my rest of the whole family denied it. They always told her, not to me but to her, कि why you being so crazy, why are you believing in him so much, you know, he's not doing anything, इतने साल हो गए, 8-9 साल हो गए already, you know, it's not happening, take him out, you're wasting so much money on him, you know, he's such a burden on you now. And my mom never thought that, and she always just like, you know, she said he's not, I know one day it will happen, and people will love him, people will love his performance, his work, and तो या मेरी बस यही कोशिश रही थी हमेशा कि मेरी जो रूटीन होती है तो उसमें मैं इतना मतलब मैं इन्वेस्ट कर दूं अपना टाइम, वक्त, एनर्जी, फिजिकल, मेंटल, यू नो, ट्रेन सो हार्ड कि मामा बोले कि भाई डोंट ट्रेन सो मच, यू नो, काम डाउन, रिलैक्स, इतना काम मत कर. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि मम्मी बोले कि यार थोड़ा कर ले, उधर जाके किसी को मिल ले, यू नो. एवरी टाइम द होल while I've been here, she's always said कि calm down, go out, have a vacation, go out with you know, make some friends,
Yeah.
you know, relax. पर मैं कभी relax नहीं हूँ, and now I feel like, you know, but it's a good time now. She's at least now मैंने prove कर दिया, and now at least now I know, because you know, when I see her smile and when I see her talking to people, I see how proud she is as a mother. I'll never know how a mother feels, you know, but only women might be able to relate to that.
Yeah.
Maybe mothers will be able to know how a mother feels
Yeah.
जब उनके बच्चे कुछ अचीव कर लेते हैं आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग स्ट्रगल, जब पूरी इंडस्ट्री ने आपको मतलब राइट ऑफ कर लिया है, जब कोई आपको ऑडिशंस नहीं दे रहे हैं, जब लोग बोल रहे हैं कि दिस गाय इज डन एंड डस्टेड, यू नो, लेट हिम गो जॉइन, कोई छोटा सा रोल कर लो, या जाके टीवी में कोई छोटा रोल कर लो, या बिकम गो बैक एंड बिकम मॉडल अगेन फॉर सम टाइम, जब तक यू नो यू बिकम ओल्डर, एंड देन व्हाटएवर देन. But she never told me to do any of that. मैं तो Big Boss join करने वाला था. I was going to go to
Really?
Big Boss. Yeah. I was going to Big Boss literally just before I signed Hira Mandi, which was October, I think, last year.
Huh.
उससे पहले I was going to sign the contract for Big Boss.
Okay, and then your mom.
My mom and my friend Tushar. Tushar, he's with me for the last 12-13 years, so he was always against it. He said, you know, वो एक अलग trajectory
Yes,
में
of
आप चले
course.
जाओगे,
Of course.
and then you won't be able to
Do
erase
it.
that.
Yes, of course.
You know, so he fought, his mother fought with me, then he spoke to my mom, and my mom also fought with me. She said, no, nothing doing, don't do anything, but you don't go this way, wait, keep working on yourself, do what you have to do, I'm there, whatever I can do I will do, you don't have to worry about food, you have food on the table, all you need to do is go out and try. So खाना तो था, ठीक है, खाना था, so you know, we have a house, we have food, और क्या चाहिए, बाकी हाथ पैर सलामत हैं.
Correct.
जब तक सांसें चलती हैं तब तक आप, you know, आप हर दिन एक नई कोशिश कर सकते हैं. Every sunrise is a new start, you know. और कौन से दिन पे which sunrise will be yours,
You don't
You
know.
will never know.
Correct.
you know,
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So, I don't know, this is absolutely relatable because even for me, my mom is my driving force every day, and I guess it's the same for everyone. Like, there's no one like mothers, you know, their sacrifice, the way they mold us. I just wanted to, you know, ask you the same thing. Like, on our podcast, we talk primarily about the women and the role they play in each of our lives, and mothers are someone we look up to in our life. So I have also seen in one of the interviews where you mentioned that you were crying in a bathroom and your mom was the one. I want to ask, like, first of all, men are not vulnerable, you know, not usually vulnerable. They are very scared of emoting or, you know, showing their emotions. How has your mom being a driving force? Because, you know, most of the मतलब childhood से ही बोला जाता है लड़कों को कि रो मत, you have to be strong. But in this case, you were like, she was very okay with that fact and she's always calming you, she's behind you. How has she been the driving force behind your life, shaping your personality the way you are, a right balance between vulnerability and also being the man that you are?
You know, my mom has never, even when I was young, I think I was a crybaby, to be very honest.
Really?
Sach bolo. Yeah, I was. I get I get very emotional about things,
Ah,
right? And when I was a child, my brother is not like that. वो एक ही साल बड़े हैं,
okay.
but he never cries. Never. Like, doesn't matter what happens, if a guy doesn't cry. You know, anything can happen, he won't cry.
Wow.
And in the young age, I have always been very, very. I was also in. I was. You know, if my brother annoys me a little bit, all right, anything that comes, you know. So, but besides that part, I went to boarding school. And I was in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. I was in boarding school in Kodaikanal, right? First year, ठीक है, चल, you know, it was all good. नए लोग, नई चीज़ें, तो आपका वक्त उसमें गुजर गया. But then again, you come back next year to the same thing. अभी कोई नए लोग तो नहीं है. It's the same people. So I became very homesick. I missed my mom a lot, right? Where she would always call me twice in a day, and she would call my brother once in 3-4 days.
Okay.
Okay, and he was okay with it. He was like, yeah, ठीक है. All right, but I would always, and if she doesn't call me exactly at 3:20, तो फिर मुझे लगता था कि मेरी मम्मी को कुछ हो गया.
Okay.
All right, तो फिर I was in elementary school, right, 4th grade, 5th grade. So मैं भाग जाता था स्कूल से, and I would कुछ 2 किलोमीटर 2.5 किलोमीटर में एक STD हुआ करता था. So I would go and I would call STD, I would call her until she picks up. I would call her, and then she's like, what happened, hold? And she's like, hello. And I'm like, call me now. फिर मैं वापस भागता था स्कूल to my dorm for her to call me. And I used to be very, very connected to my mother in that sense. I was little like, I think was a little spoiled that way. I think she kept me spoiled as well. But even though all this while, she never ever said ki, you're a boy, don't cry. She never said that. She never said that. She's always tackled it in a very different way. She's always said ki, are you going to get what you want if you cry?
Okay.
I said, no. Then why are you crying? So I feel bad. She's like, okay, feel bad. Nothing wrong in feeling bad. You want to cry? Cry. Very good. Keep crying. All right? Cry, sleep, get up, and start working. Right? Because crying is not going to get you anywhere.
Of course.
Right? So many a times in my life now, in all these years, when, let's say, I've been thrown out of a project, or if I have been, many a times I have also been invited to certain places and certain parties, and it almost seems like they look through me. They invited me, but then they look through me.
Okay.
So and I'm an emotional guy. So internally it breaks me.
Of course.
Right. So I didn't understand how to tackle that. First of all, I'm invited to such a big place, and then it's like I don't exist in that place.
Yeah.
You know, they make you feel that way.
Yes.
So they completely break me from inside, and then all the way from there, I don't want to stay there, and I start crying, call my, and then I'm like crying all the way back home. The whole night I'm crying, right? Like, why do you make me feel that way? Like, like, you know, something must be, what's wrong with me? And you start accusing yourself, what is wrong with me? What do I not have? Am I not working hard enough? Do I not have skills? I'm doing my classes, I'm doing all my classes, I'm doing more than classes than anybody else, but then what is it?
Yeah.
Right? So you start questioning yourself, and then you go into this negative, you know, like a turmoil and a twister, and you just keep digging yourself in, and that's when mothers come in, you know, and that's when it's like, it's you know, people are going to try and put you down,
Yes.
you know, but what really matters and what will matter is that you never give up,
Correct.
and you wake up with all that pain, with all that turmoil inside you, and you use that to become a more experienced, a better person, and you will learn to, you should not do that to people, all right, because you know how it feels,
Of course.
right? So always be respectful, always be kind-hearted, and she's like, one day I know you will be on top, and when you go on top, then always make sure to, you know, help people,
How sweet.
you know, because she's always helping people. She's always helping either her family or her extended relatives, or you know, she's always made herself from zero. I have seen times when she has had no money. She has had to sell all her jewelry. She used to do marble business at one point of time, so she sold her truck also, because there was so much loan that she didn't know. So she sold her car, so she sold all her jewelry. She used to wear saris at that time. Now she wears kurta and all that, but at that time she used to wear sari. She sold that. She sold everything.
Oh my God.
And it was just a little bit of, she would get food for me and my brother. And at that time she was kind of running she was a single mom. So she was kind of running the whole thing by herself. So I've seen her constantly reinvent herself, from biochemist to start, you know, to going and breaking stones in Jaipur, and you know, taking out marbles and then cutting into slabs and then sending it out by herself. Then from there getting into like recruitment of labor, manpower. Then from there getting into construction, real estate. You know, it's in the Gulf, right? So this is what goes on. So a woman to constantly keep reinventing herself, understanding from a biochemist to understanding completely everything to do with finance, how to handle the banks, she's, you know, and her hustle. So I think these are the things that I've picked up from her, you know, how to start from zero over and over and over again,
Amazing.
you know, because in this industry, you have to restart over and over and over again, especially because you face failures left, right, and center.
Yes.
And you might be, you know, when I started off, I was very young. I was like how my team are right now, you know, 19, 20, 21, 22, young.
Yes.
Right? You don't know anything about this industry. You're fresh off the boat.
Yeah.
And then you start growing, and it's like this. I'm just to be very honest. If I didn't get Hira Mandi, you know, if God didn't provide this for me, then there's going to be a gap which we're going to fall into. It's like a bowl.
Yeah.
Right? So you're here, you're going, right? Nothing's really happening, and then there's going to be a big dip.
Yeah.
Because now you're not old, and you're not young.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't know where to cast you. Right? And then now you have to wait until you become old for them to now cast you in like elder character roles.
Yeah.
All right? That's what have happened to me if I didn't get Hira Mandi. Like literally, I was on the verge of falling off that edge. All right? And many a times I've heard, and I've always listened to motivational videos, that when you're just about to fall, right, but God is always testing you. God is testing your limits, and when you're about to fall, God is like, "Chal, theek hai." Huh?
It
Chal,
does
aaja.
happen that way.
You
Yeah.
know, many people are
absolutely.
leaving the country, leaving the acting thing, and they're like, they get a call. It's like, you know, you're
Yes.
okay. You've got it.
Yeah.
You know, and then from there they start again. So many stories. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm the only one or I'm a new,
Yeah.
but I'm saying that when each one of us goes through it, right, those experiences are new to us. It's not new in the world, but it's new to us. And for us to fight every day with rejections, with people throwing you out, with people writing you off, with people cutting your scenes, with people, you know, you're doing films, the films don't release, then you being called unlucky, so many things, right? During all that, there's nobody standing beside you.
Yeah.
At that time, very rarely do you get some friends who will actually be there for you. I got a friend called Tushar here. Like I said, he's always been there. My mom's always been there. Really, like at most of the time, 90% of my life till now, it's only been those two people who have always been there, right? My brother also said he's a practical guy. He's like, bhai, tera nahi ho raha hai. It's not happening for you. Just leave it. That's the crying story, because my brother is like a father figure to me.
Yeah.
All right, so I look up to him, and I want his approval. But when you don't get the approval from that father figure from yours, and he's like, it's not happening for you, you should look at plan B. And I am quite an impractical person. So I've always told him, but there is no plan B, right? I will die, but I'll do this. And he's like, you're stupid. He's like, he's on your face. He's like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
And how can you be so like, he's like, basically you're talking out of your ass,
Yes.
right? And you have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're just saying, because there was an audition that I did for Aladdin, the Aladdin thing. I had done it, and I'm like, no, but my audition is the best. He's like, how can you say it's the best? I'm like, I'm telling you it's the best. And he's like, but how? He's like, there might be other people doing so many things. I'm like, I don't care about the other people. I'm the best.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're so stupid. How can you think like this? I said, this is how you're supposed to think.
Yes.
You have to think this. You can't think like, oh, what will happen? Oh, I'm not the best. Oh, you can't think that, because that is you're basically choking your own dreams. First put in the effort. I'm not saying कि बिना effort लिए आप अपने आप को I'm the best.
Yeah.
ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है. You put in the effort, and you put in efforts from all directions, and then you claim that your hard work that you put in, that's why you're calling yourself the best. You're not from some ego. You're calling yourself the best. Because many people from ego, like especially people like when I was in college and I come out, I had no skills. I'll accept it. I had no skills, but yet मुझे लगता था कि मैं gangster. I'm so cool. I'm this. I'm that. Because this is what, when people come out of college, they think about themselves. They think they're all that.
Yeah.
But nothing is backed. Nothing is backed by hard work, by hours and hours of investment in your skill, by sacrifices, right? It's ego talking.
Yeah.
So you got to put that ego away, right? And then practically look at yourself in the mirror and say, what have I actually invested my time in, right? Every day, can I calculate the time and tell you exactly where my minutes are going? Yes or no, right? Like today I had these interviews. It was starting early, and I slept later. I slept around 1 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah.
I could have easily not gotten up and not gone to gym.
Yeah.
But I still woke up at 6 o'clock, and I still went for gymnastics class, and then I got ready and I came. It's a choice, right? I wanted to sleep. Trust me, I wanted to sleep. All right. That's why I told your sister also downstairs that I'm feeling a little sleepy. All right. But you got to do what you got to do. Right?
Yeah.
Now when we travel from here to here, I'll get some sleep in the car. But I'm saying it's a choice. Now this is called like I'm investing it.
Correct.
It's not like my day of interviews. I'm not going to work out. No. Got to put in that effort.
Absolutely.
Right. So when you put that ego out and you start actually looking at yourself in reality and counting. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've hustled, I've networked, I've built my skills, now I have some resources, how I can invest this. Especially for somebody like me who's a complete outsider. In fact, मैं तो मुंबई से भी नहीं था.
Absolutely.
मैं बाहर से आया हूँ. Like the only comparison who I feel I can actually maybe a little bit compare to in terms of where I'm coming from is Katrina Kaif.
Yeah.
Because
She's also
she came from completely outside and she's made herself. So that is like something that I know, and I know her personally, so I can resonate with her. I know the kind of things that she must have gone through. But again, for a guy to come in here doing a lot of things from outside, people don't accept you very easily.
Yeah.
Right. So these all things, like to sum it up, I'll say my mom has always been my spinal cord. She's never told me never to cry. She said cry, but once you cry, get the hell up, and move on.
So that's TAHA Shah, the strong man that we know, and the story behind. But yeah, in Hira Mandi, there are so many gorgeous women. They are supremely talented. They are strong individual. They have their own individuality. So, what was your takeaway from them? Like seeing them perform as an artist, as a person. What was your key takeaways from them?
From each individual actress, I think there's different takeaways. Let's just start with the woman I'm closest to, which would be Farida ma'am.
Yeah.
I think the takeaway from her is how even today, after almost 50 years of being in the industry, she still comes to set like she's a newbie. Right? You take that away from her, which is one of the most important principles I have learned.
Wow.
It doesn't matter how big you are or how big you might think you are. You have to always approach life, and especially this kind of work, like you are a complete newbie. Because when you start taking yourself too seriously, that I am this, I have done Hira Mandi, I am star, then you start losing your innocence. You start putting up an image that this is how I'm supposed to be.
Correct.
Right? People might have that image about you, but you don't have to follow that image of what they have, because then, first of all, as an actor, that'll be your end, because then people might want to just see you like that, and then you're also behaving like that, and then you become that character. So Farida ma'am, from her, I've always learned to come in with a very fresh mindset, act like a new person, newbie every time you're on set, right? And also I've learned from her to never complain about anything. She doesn't complain about anything. She doesn't complain about no AC. She doesn't complain. She has back pain. She won't be able to sit. How many times I have held her and have placed her down, all right? And she has back and she can't, but no complaint. She won't say a word.
Wow.
Right? She is a senior actor who should only be there for about 6 to 8 hours. She's been there for 14, 15 hours at times. No complaint. Of course, you can see it in her eyes that, she needs rest,
Yeah.
but she'll never say it. She'll hold it in, hold it in. She doesn't need to. She can completely blast out
Yes.
at all of us and say, I'm leaving, and she can leave also, because
Yeah.
it's already past time. But until the scene is done, she doesn't leave. Right?
Oh, amazing.
So you also, of course, besides acting and the kind of naturality that she brings to the scene each time that I'm with her, I believe that mine and her relationship is very special, even as Tajdar and Kutsia,
Yeah.
because she's so cute,
She's cute.
right? My character automatically, as we met, and I'm sitting on her lap,
Yes.
you know,
That was cute.
it becomes it's not me anymore. It's like I become a 5-year-old with her. Every time I'm with her, it's like a 5, whether it was Sera pehna rahi hai mujhe, yeah, wo, and then it's like a kid getting angry when Manisha ma'am says that, aao apne sar is pe rakho, and ask for apology. It's not me getting angry. It's like a 5-year-old getting angry.
Yeah.
Because I'm next to Kutsia. I'm next to her. So she brings, it's automatically this relationship gets built because of the kind of energy or the kind of aura. She is a very sweet grandmama.
Yeah.
All right. She's like the fairy godmother.
Yes.
All right. And it's that the aura that she kind of exudes. And anybody, especially, me, I'm a kind of person who feeds off energy. Right. So this is what I fed off. And that's why it was so easy to work with her. So easy. Natural. For me, at least.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas with, let's say, Sonakshi, I really think that Sonakshi is such a great person. She has no egos. She will behave like she'll behave with me the same way she'll behave with you, the same way she will behave with Aditi, the same way she is
Neutral
open.
to every
Yeah. There is no like, oh, he's nothing right now, to ma'am.
Yeah.
Other people I have seen have been like that.
Yeah.
But she's not like that. And I really, really have taken that from her, and I appreciate that about her. Whereas, let's go with next, Manisha ma'am. Right? Manisha ma'am is very, very involved in her character. Ki that she one time and I kind of joke around in sets, to make things light. And especially when me, Farida ma'am and Manisha ma'am were together, तो मैं और Farida ma'am हमेशा ऐसे नोक झोंक करते रहते हैं. We making each other. And then there was one time I think मैंने गलती से मैं ऐसे, she's like, ये इनका नाम क्या है? When Manisha ma'am said, मैंने ऐसे मजाक में बोला ताजू, right? You can call me Taju. And she got a little, she's like, no jokes. I said, no, sorry. I'm sorry. मैं तो ऐसे ही. And then Farida ma'am looks at me and she's like, I'm like, what should I do? and then so, Manisha ma'am is very involved in her character and, likes no distraction. That's another way of approaching the character. And I enjoyed that as well. Maybe that is important to play if I'm playing a more restricted, reserved kind of a character, So I learned that from her, that, you have to be completely focused. And I also believe that she's come back with such gusto.
Yeah.
I've learned that she's fought death. She has
has.
fought for life.
Yes.
All right. And that is hats off, respect to that woman.
Yeah.
All right. Because I don't even know how I would behave in such a situation if that happened to me or anyone close to me, how I would behave, how I would react. So looking at that, I believe that she has really showed me the power that one can have, and that's what I learned from Manisha ma'am. On the other hand, Richa, I didn't get to really work with her on set,
Yeah.
but I know her personally because I know Ali really well. And trust me, Richa is what I've taken from her is that she's truly an artist, right? She's a person. Even today, I saw her post about Cannes, and she's always talking about performances. She's always
Yes.
talking about movies, or
Yeah.
she's always talking about, going into the international film festivals and making good content and things like that. So, what I've learned from her is that she is completely and wholly dedicated to the art and craft of filmmaking. And her and Ali both, in fact.
Yeah.
I mean, Ali तो मैं
Absolutely.
theatre से देखता आया हूँ. So Ali was one of the first people I came to Mumbai and I had met because he is my brother's friend's aunt's nephew, something like that.
Okay.
All right. So then, and I first came here, we got introduced, and he had come home. He just did 3 Idiots at that time,
Okay.
the Sunshine song. you
Ha
know.
ha. Yes.
So at that time also he was in theatre, and I
Yeah.
think that's the first time in 2010 when we first met. So from then till now, we've both seen each other grow, and always Kabhi Kabhi literally released 1 week before my film released.
Okay.
Love Ka
yeah.
the End.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was in
yeah,
the
yeah.
same month we
Yeah,
got launched
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
Yeah.
Like that. So so I have a really close connection, and I see that Richa. That's what I take from both of them. Now they've opened up this clothes. They
Yes,
have this.
they have,
They help all these women to
Yeah.
to make embroideries and things like
Yeah.
that. So they're artists, completely, wholly, solely just artists, and that's why I love those guys. And Charmin, of course, she's the one I shared the most amount of screen space with, right? Of course, it took me a few days to for us to break the ice, but I believe that एक scene था ईद वाले ईद का scene था जब हम लोग Manisha ma'am enters and she's like, oh ये तो बड़े बड़े घराने की लगती है, blah blah blah, right? So in that scene, I feel that was like the 5th or 6th day हम लोग वही shoot कर रहे थे हम लोग, and that day we really broke the ice, and that day we became, just as people we became close. Then we started, the chemistry started building up a bit more, and so with Charmin, I also seen the other side of her in her Vanity Van, where she's a complete foodie. Right? She's always sending me stuff to eat. Right? Have this. Sending me ice cream. Sending me something else. Right? She's also a person who's very. I've learned that she speaks her heart out.
Yeah.
I think she's gone on Mr. Bhansali.
Yeah.
Right? She doesn't look left, right, center,
Yes.
how you feel.
Yeah.
जो उसको लगता है वो बोल देगी सामने से. And I think that also, is required sometimes to be able to speak your mind out, and not try to sugarcoat it. जैसा है वैसा है. She just says it. So I think I've taken that from her.
Okay.
and who else was there? Aditi.
Aditi.
Aditi तो मैंने ताज में भी काम किया था.
Yes.
And काम नहीं किया था. Actually, I know her from Taj, but I never worked with her. Here, at least, we had a few scenes together. Aditi again is a kind of person who is wholly solely about music, about art. She was telling me about her her family is all into music and singers, into the tumris
Yeah.
and classical singing. So every time, and the kind of thing she also mentioned to me some really special school that she had gone to. I forgot the name, but it was really special. So her upbringing and her, is very regal, very royal.
Yeah.
And from her, I've always learned that not to, not to take things too seriously. I think she's the kind of person who goes with the flow.
Yeah.
She doesn't plan too much. मैं बहुत सारा planning करता हूँ. But she's also like, she lets life decide, and she goes with the flow. And I think that's what I've taken from her. So yeah, I think they're all the women. Have I missed anybody?
No.
I mean, I know the other girls as well. I mean, I know Pratibha as well. Sanjida. Sanjida is. How can we forget Sanjida? Sanjida is such a great actress.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, I didn't have too many scenes with her.
Yeah.
But I know her as a person, and I know finally, I just have to say that she's finally getting her due. And
I so agree.
I know the first film that she did. She doesn't want me to mention that, so I'm not going to mention that. But and finally, I get to see her in Fighter.
Yeah.
And then I get to see her, of course, over here.
Yeah.
So I just have to say that I guess if I had to take away from anything from her is again the power of resilience,
Yeah.
the power of just sticking with it,
Yeah.
and one day it will strike, So basically, for Sanjida and me, we're like on the same boat.
Yeah.
She's stuck on, she's held on, she's never given up, and finally this is her time. So these are a couple of things.
Wow, amazing. So the power of Taha is that he can keep speaking and I can keep listening to him. But yeah, I want to know from you, Taha, there's a lot of halahu around this term called feminism. And because you have this trajectory even in your films and everything where you have played a red flag character,
Yeah.
and you've also played a complete green flag character in Hira Mandi, where people are like idolizing the kind of character that you are. So I want to know from you, like, what is your take on this feminism debate, and do you really feel that men and women are equal to each other? Do you feel that way?
No, I don't feel women and men are equal to each other.
Okay.
I feel that women are much higher than men.
Wow.
All right. I always mention that. Look, my mom's a single mother.
Yeah.
I'm a child of a single mother. I know the kind of and I'm not the only child, to be very honest. All right. I know so many people whose fathers have left,
Yeah.
whose fathers are into their own lives, maybe even have another life. I have also seen, but I wouldn't say all the mothers, but 90% of all the mothers always stick on. They don't leave the children.
Yeah. They do.
They're always fighting for their children.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who held us in their stomach. They
Yeah.
know what they've gone through. There's a separate connection that children have with their mother.
Yeah.
That a father can never be a substitute to that ever.
Absolutely.
Maybe a mother can be a substitute to the father, like how my mother has been, right? But a father can never be a substitute to a mother, as much as he tries. We're just wired a little differently.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I also feel that women, because of over centuries of patriarchy,
Yeah.
I believe that women have been subdued.
Correct.
Not because of anything else, but because there's a feeling that if women come into power, women can take the power.
I couldn't agree more.
Right? It's because
Yeah.
of that. It's not because they don't know how to do it. It's because if
Yes.
they come into power, they'll do it better than us.
Yeah.
Right? We fight through violence, men. We'll attack, we'll put wars up. Whereas women will fight mind games.
Yes.
Right? Women, you can even, when you look at psychology or you look at any science, you see that women's intuition is stronger than men. women already have a nurturing maternal instinct, which men don't have. All right, women are at least the women I have seen around, especially even in this industry, most of my life is here, and my mother and all these people, women, because of that patriarchal society, they strive to be better. They strive to hold a stand, and in that striving, they manage to become better organizers, better managers, better people who are aesthetics. Just look at your office. You know what I mean? Like if all men were running this office, this would not be the way it is. All right, it's just not going to happen. All right. Women bring a certain sense of beauty, a certain sense of aesthetic, a certain sense of cleanliness, godliness. That men can never do. Right. It's just that men have a bigger ego. Right. So therefore, the women kind of put themselves down because they know how to tackle situations. Right. And they know that if I put my ego up and then he puts his ego, then it's just going to go like, okay, fine, fine, take it, you win, But that's not because women are smaller; it's because women are smarter that way. Right? They know how to tackle the situation better. Right? When they say that a woman is a homemaker, right? A homemaker, trust me, is not easy, bro.
Absolutely.
It is not at all easy.
Not
I
at
don't know
all,
why you
yeah.
think people think it's easy. You spend one day at home trying to freaking clean and get the children up and get them ready and then get them
Yeah.
going and then take care of their families. I have seen women wake up I've heard, where women have to wake up in the morning, they have to cook breakfast, do their basic chores in the morning, then take a train, go to their work, finish their work. On the way back, they have like this thing on their lap where they're cutting vegetables, all right, so that when they come back, they can actually cook food, all right. And nobody seems to be talking about that, but like men come and they're like, okay, oh, I'm such a long day, and they'll put their leg on the top, they'll watch some TV, like, what about that? You know, why do I don't understand? I mean, I'm not that kind of person. I believe that I might not be a good cook or something like that, but I also don't crib and complain about being tired.
Yeah.
I believe that I cannot come to the kitchen and cook unless you don't want to eat food. I can come and cook, but I can give you a hand in other stuff, right?
Yeah.
I can give a hand in the house. I can take care of the children, right? And if not, at least I can give you some time off. I can take the children out. There's always things to do. You can't, like, I feel that in general, over the years, men have just become much more selfish,
Yeah.
right? And they've just kind of like said, okay, the woman will take care of it, It's not about women take care of it or you take care of it. I think there should be a mix. There should be a balance, where you should accept certain responsibilities that men are good at
Yeah.
and certain things that women are good at,
Yeah.
and you should just like try and be there for each other,
Correct.
which I feel many a times it's missing. Nowadays, maybe things are changing, beliefs are changing, I don't know, but I can just talk about myself that girls that I have been with, there is no tired. I'll sleep less, I'll help them, I'll make their dreams my dreams, I'll hustle for them. The way I kind of hustle for myself, many a times I've hustled harder for them so that they get it, what they need. I'll put them in the room. I cannot put myself in the room, I might not be able to, but I'll put them in the room. And then, yeah, I'll try my best. Now, I wouldn't, again, as much as I would like to support this, there are also women who take advantage of this.
Yeah.
All right? There are
Yeah.
women who don't appreciate these things. Sometimes a man can go all out and do stuff, and then at the end of the day, he can get a kick in the butt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that also happens. So I just have to say, overall, there needs to be a better understanding.
Yeah.
And like my mom was just mentioning yesterday, she said it happens. I understand now कि जितना आप उसके पीछे भागोगे वो आपसे उतना ही दूर भागोगी.
हाँ.
But then all of a sudden, when you change the thing and you run and you're like, okay, fine, go away, and then you walk this way, then all of a sudden the girl walks behind you.
Yeah.
You know, so there's many a time that also happens.
Yes.
So I wouldn't I don't know how to like you know say it's not about who's wrong, who's right. Unfortunately, that's how life is, right? When I like, for just to give you an example, when I completely decided कि you know what, जो भी आएगा मैं लूँगा, doesn't matter what work it is, मैं किसी के पीछे नहीं भागूंगा, because जब भी मैं whenever I was running behind some project, I've never gotten it. मतलब मैंने यहाँ से भी फ़ोन लगाया, वहाँ से भी किसी को, वहाँ से वहाँ सबको फ़ोन लगाया, never got it. मैंने भंसाली सर को एक फ़ोन नहीं लगाया. हाँ, 3 दिन के रोल से मुझे लीड रोल मिल गया. Because what has to happen is going to happen.
Wow.
Right? You have to give your best and be wise enough, be mature enough to let it go. You did your best, let it go. It doesn't matter how many times you tell him to call, her to call, his mother to call, his father to, all that doesn't matter. You know, what has to happen will happen.
Correct.
So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, keeping all this, a man and a woman should basically, you know, there's a lot of things about feminism, but I also feel, like I said, many people abuse the right, especially nowadays. I mean, a few years ago, there was incidents that somebody's boyfriend did something, and then one guy went up to them, the same guy who's their boyfriend did something too, and then that guy's girlfriend blamed this guy. This guy tried to rape her.
Yeah, it does happen.
What? What? You know, so things like that also happen, you know, and people take advantage of these things. So I believe that you can't point fingers at guys or girls. Every individual is different, right? You should just be mature enough to understand who's the right girl for you,
Yeah.
who's the right man for you. And I think communication is the most important thing. Nowadays, there's so many of us are well educated, and but we lack. Even though we're well educated, communication becomes a thing because you don't want to make them feel bad.
Yeah.
You don't want the other person to feel bad. I've also been there. I also could not maybe express my feelings that much. Luckily, I've passed that stage in life where now I believe that I have to take care of my feelings. I have to tell you about how I feel. Right? It's not that I don't care about your feelings, but honesty is the best policy.
Correct.
So I need to be honest to you so that I don't hurt you in the future or you don't get hurt. So I think communication is the most important thing, and the rest as well. Yeah.
Interesting. And you know, while you were saying this, I also had this thing in my mind. Sometimes we also have wrong perception about the opposite gender. For instance, you know, like I mentioned to you, when I saw my father crying for the first time, I was like, you know, my mom cries, it's natural.
Okay.
But when my father cried, I was like, it's okay, he's crying, but why is he crying? He's not supposed to cry. So I had this very wrong judgment that men don't cry, they cannot cry, they are strong people, they are supposed to be strong. But eventually, when I when I started growing up, so my mom kind of nurtured that it's okay, he's human being, emotions natural, it does happen, men can cry. So it was seated to me very naturally, organically. But did you also have this kind of notion about women in general, like something which you thought they shouldn't be, but you felt bad about it later on? Okay, like maybe I misunderstood that.
That the way a woman shouldn't be?
Yeah.
No, I've never gotten any notions as such. Luckily,
Sometimes like some people have said that a woman can be opinionated, but not to that level where they are crossing the line with maybe another man in the room or something like that.
see, the kind of person that I am, I have definitely seen this both here and in the Gulf.
Okay.
All right. Of course, like I say, it's a patriarchal society.
Yeah.
And many a times I have seen that if a woman tries to give her opinions out in a very strong manner, it might not be taken lightly. It's kind of taken very like, oh, she thinks too much about herself.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I have also come to a fact to understand that look, there is no point trying to prove somebody wrong, right? It is not a win-win situation at all. All right. It is always good. My dad always said, and it's come from I think Stephen Covey, his seven rules of success, where he says that um, understand before being understood.
Nice.
Right. So before trying to I may want to make you understand my point, maybe first of all, calm down. Right. Let that person completely say what they have to say, and then cross question them. Is this what you mean? Right. And then they say yes. Okay, fine. Then they let go of everything. Okay, fine. You think this? Very good. On the other hand, these are the reasons that I think this, and you give them the pointers. No problem. I'm not trying to change you. Very good. You think this? Keep it. Right? I've understood you. Right? I understand you, and now you understand me. And let's just kind of agree to disagree.
Wow.
And move on. Right? I feel a lot of things come up because we try to change people's perception or the way they think, and nobody wants to change the way they think.
Yeah.
All right? Nobody. No matter how logical you are, how right you are, or how right you might think you are, right? Nobody cares. They care what they think. They care what they want. They care what they like.
Yeah.
Right? Very simple. So, for me especially, I'm not the kind of guy who argues. I might have all the opinions in the world, but I don't go out saying opinions. But yes, you're right. I have heard that. I've seen that. But again, I believe that when people are trying to put their opinion on somebody else, no, I feel also that can be very. It can be a. It's just a not. It's not a win-win situation. So I try to avoid it.
That's a nice way
Yeah.
to deal with
Simple.
the. Yeah.
I'm not here to change anybody, bro.
I mean, as a woman also, I feel this is like ideal. I would want this to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple. Keep
Yeah.
it simple. You say no, you're wrong. Arey bhai, no problem. You are right. I'm also right. You are right. I'm also right. That should be the thing. That's the most beneficial thing.
Okay, lastly, let's go back to Hira Mandi. I want to just quickly ask you about the male gaze part that I told you. Like, your eyes have certain kind of magic. But at the same time, when you are doing certain roles, and when you're looking at your romantic partner in a certain way, there's a very thin line between love and lust. But you just got it so right. I mean, 99% of the girls just want that. And I want to ask you, like, what has been your, I don't know, like, as an artist, like, how do you approach that kind of role, and how do you do it with that eyes where you don't cross the line? You know what I mean?
No, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But it's there's nothing that you can do as a preparation of a character. It's a person that you are.
Yeah.
When I got cast as Murad from Taj, right? There is a certain kind of rage in me.
Okay.
Being a Scorpion and being I used to be very short-tempered initially, right? Also, when you have 13 years of nothing, you're quite angry,
Yeah.
right? So you kind of channel that in. Again, it's my experiences, my channeling that I do it. In Hira Mandi, when I had to love, I have just always been a boy who has always fallen in love, right? I have, from the time I was a child, right? Maybe when I was in about 6th grade, when I first had a crush on this girl, right? It was in my boarding school,
Okay.
right? I just remember popping my head out from the tree and trying to see her, or waiting for her to enter that gate so I can go and pick up her bag, or I would just when she would get out of the bus, I would I would rush to her, and just small things. I would write a letter to her. उस time phone नहीं था तो Not write a love letter, and I would throw it into the bus,
Okay.
you know, and then she would look out and she would say bye bye to me, you know. So like these are experiences of your life that you take out of.
Yeah.
You can't make up things, and all of us have felt it somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe our hearts have been broken and then we become a changed person. All that is sure, all that is there. But end of the day, we are all built to love, right? But you have to go back into those moments where you genuinely felt those things. And lucky for me, there's been a few times I have fallen in love. Unfortunately, they have not came into fruition or something. I've broken my heart. But before breaking your heart, there is those moments where you're just completely mesmerized by that girl, right? Where it does happen, what they show in movies, it does happen, where time slows down.
Yeah.
You know, where you start imagining any music that plays, you start imagining that you're dancing with this girl. All right, there are things like that, and it does happen.
Yeah.
And you can call me filmy, you can call me whatever, but it did happen, and it does happen. I don't know if it's going to happen anymore, because I think I've reached an age where I'm quite mature. But I have felt those feelings where every song of Shah Rukh has been my song. Every song of a romantic song would be my song.
Correct.
You know, so I believe that you have to derive from those memories, and you have to don't become, and you have to keep that innocence inside you. You have to go back to the child that you were.
Yeah.
And if you truly fall in love with somebody, then you don't have to what's it called? I mean, I think lust is also another point. You said it's a very thin line.
Yes.
But the gaze of lust, unfortunately, I mean, or fortunately, I don't think I've experienced that like that. I've never leched at a girl. Ooh, hot, yummy. I don't think I've done that. So yeah, love just comes out from your own experiences.
Wow. And last but not the least, Taha, you have to give one message if you could give to all the women out there.
Oh,
what
wow.
what would that be?
To all the women out there,
Yeah.
is it going in any direction or any kind of message?
Any kind of message.
My messages are always very like just in general, but if I have to talk to women, I would just have to say that don't get pressured against society, and don't think that you are less than anybody. Always believe in your dreams, in your passions. It is you who are our future. It is the women who have given us birth. So I would just have to say to everybody out there that spread the love, follow your dreams, and just believe in yourself.
Amazing. That is Taha Shah for you. And this is Pallavi Mukherjee signing off on Woh-Men-Yahan on Pop Diaries. And if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.